So after Thursday's doubleheaders, it's time for match 26 on Friday, which is Bangalore versus Punjab in Ahmedabad, and it's going to be a tricky one. It's going to be an important one for Bangalore. Obviously, an opportunity to go at the top of the table. For Punjab, however, this is going to be an important game because it's been a topsy-turvy start to their season, and they want some consistency to begin now. And let's take a closer look at both these teams. Let's start with Punjab. I think Bangalore, we can talk about it a little later. It's a team that has done well. Things are set, patterns are set, but let's talk about Punjab because it's a team. When we began talking about the IPL, we thought that it's a team that has promise. Yes, in the last few years they've not looked very good, but now suddenly they're finding a bit of a core about them. They've changed their name, they've changed their branding. It's looking a little fresh and different, but it's been a similar story as how it has been in the last few years. But I think this time the batting has been the culprit, and especially the foreign contingent. When you look at the foreign contingent, you realize that Gayle and Nicholas Pooran are two very important players there for Punjab. And at this point, with them not firing, there are two repercussions that are happening with Punjab. Number one, you are not able to play David Malan. You're persisting with Pooran and Gayle, and at this point, if Malan is available, you're not able to play him, and that is an important talking point because Malan is the number one T20 batter in the world in the men's circuit, and a person of that caliber is sitting on that bench because you're persisting with Pooran and Gayle. The other thing that Punjab have done is that Riley Meredith and Jai Richardson, two players that they paid so much money for, are not able to play because they're also playing Moses Ondrix and Chris Jordan to sort of give that extra cushion in the batting lower down the order. And when you do that, you take out there's no place left for Jai Richardson and Riley Meredith, two fast bowlers of good potential that can come in and give that extra that can add to the firepower of Shami and Arshdeep already. So because they're persisting with Gayle and Pooran with good due reason, these are two of the world's best T20 batters. These are the twofold reasons that are happening. These are the twofold effects that are happening for Punjab, and that's crippling them at this point. The Indian contingent has been all right. Bishnoi came in and did well in the last few games. Arshdeep has been all right as well at the top. Mayank and Rahul have been okay. They've scored some runs. Hooda has been good in patches. Shah Rukh Khan has been good. So the Indian contingent is looking good, but it is the foreign core that they have to now work around and decide. That I think is going to be the major talking area for Punjab as they head into this game, because their scores have not been good. They've scored 107 in their losses, especially. They've scored 107 versus CSK batting first, 121 versus SRH, 123 versus KKR. You cannot win IPL games by scoring these totals. Even if you keep those two games apart where they scored 200 plus and in another game they scored 197, it's not been the story shows that there's been no consistency. You can't score big 200 plus totals and then come around in the next game and score half of that's not how you win games in the IPL. So, and for that to happen, Gayle and Pooran need to fire, and they need to fire now. If they don't, then Punjab have to take that big risk and play and get one of these guys out and play David Malan if he is available. That is, there's still so many. It's still not clear what's happening around the English and the Australian players. So it's good to assume that Malan, if he's available, will sort of come into the action. I think at the end of the day, it's very important for them to fire, and that's, I think, going to be very, very important for Punjab. If you look at Bangalore, no problems, no problems at all. With an opportunity to go top again, nice little battle going on at the top with CSK and RCB, sort of trying to one up each other. CSK the other day, obviously, coming out on top in their previous game, chasing down a total with absolute ease, going to the top of the table, 4 wins in a row. 5 wins in a row, and of course now it's an opportunity for RCB to again counter that and get back onto the top of the table. AB de Villiers stole the show versus Delhi in their previous game, won by 1 run in the last over thanks to Mohammad Siraj. I think this team is looking very good. It's no longer a matter of when will Bangalore slip up. It's now certain that it's a team that's meant for the top 4, because they have fixed the one area that we thought was their weakness through all these years, which is their death bowling. They have found Harshal Patel to be that temporary adjustment. He's come in and done the work. Yes, he got hit by Jadeja for 37 in that over, but otherwise Patel's looked good. He made a comeback versus Delhi as well, bowled well, shows that he's got the mental fortitude, which is very important. And I think Mohammad Siraj has been absolutely amazing. He's a darling of the Indian cricket fraternity at this point of time. Brilliant story, and just the skill to back that story, the skill to back the heart that he has been absolutely amazing. It's something that I've really admired and enjoyed, and I think RCB are reaping the rewards of that. Probably will be retained in the mega auction going forward as well. So I think not a lot of changes. The batting lineup's looking good, and the one big positive is that Patidar has also found his mojo. In the last game, he scored a crucial 40 odd, which was expected from somebody who comes in at 3. So now it's Padikkal, Kohli, Patidar, Maxwell, and AB de Villiers, with the others to follow, like Jameson and a couple of the other all-rounders. So I think that batting lineup is looking good, and Punjab's bowling, which has been a little suspect. There have been some movement there. We'll have to be wary of them yet again, like Delhi had to be, and they weren't, and they paid the price for it. You don't bowl Stoinis versus AB in the last over. Rishabh Pant, please make a note of that. I think all in all, it's going to be similar 11 for Bangalore. Daniel Sams made his first appearance last time versus Delhi. I think they'll give him another go in this one as well. No changes, I think, for Bangalore. Do not keep moving Dan Christian in and out. That's not a good precedent. If Sams is available, give him another go. If it doesn't work, then try and see what happens if you want to get Dan Christian in. But otherwise, don't make a lot of changes, RCB. When you talk about matchups, let's talk about matchups. And I think I could pick Virat versus Shami, but I've picked Virat versus Ashdeep at the top, primarily because of the left arm conundrum that Virat Kohli's fans and critics always go through. Yes, it's his weakness, but he's overcome it in the last few years. But I still think he's susceptible versus left arm seam. So Ashdeep versus Virat is one. De Villiers versus Jordan is one I'm really looking forward to. If De Villiers is in and around while the death overs are sort of building up, or when you're in the business end of your innings, if you're batting first or second, Jordan will be operational for Punjab as well. He is their death bowler personnel at this point of time. So I think that is going to be a good contest. Both phenomenal T20 players. Don't compare them. I think AB de Villiers is far. He's on a different planet. He's from a different place altogether. And then the other one is, of course, KL Rahul versus Mohammad Siraj. Two players who know each other all too well. But I think they're also at the peak of their power. Siraj is getting there. KL Rahul is definitely there. I think it's a matter of time that you see KL Rahul really explode onto the scene. But this is going to be a good contest with Siraj bowling with his tail up in the last few games. Time for predictions, and I think it's going to be a Bangalore win. At this point, I don't know if Punjab have the firepower to counter Bangalore, to try and go against the momentum and break their cycle of losing games and winning games and losing games. It's been inconsistent. Do Punjab have the mental fortitude to fight against their patterns? Is going to be something that that'll be interesting to see, that I'll have my eyes on. Will KL Rahul, the young captain, have the right instincts to back the plans that they've put together? What are the changes they're going to make? How are they going to accommodate the other foreign personnel and get the current personnel to click? Lot of questions ahead of Punjab, not many ahead of Bangalore. I think they're in a much better place and looking good to win this game. Also, while you watch the games, keep these next to you, and while you're locked up in your homes and not going out, like we've always requested you to do so, to not go out. You're following cricketnews.com and keeping this coverage next to you as you consume all the action in IPL 2021. It's www.cricketnews.com. Like, share, and subscribe, and press the bell icon for cricketnews.com's YouTube channel, and follow us on our social media accounts. Stay around. My name is Sumedh. This is cricketnews.com.